In Rust, a bunker is probably the best way to protect your loot and your base. The problem is that most of them take complicated gimmicks and usually require you to upgrade enough to do an entire 2x1. But what if we could do the perfect bunker out of a 1x1? I mean, that'd be like a total of 1200 frags or like 138 high qual. Well, thanks to the industrial update, I've come up with the perfect 1x1 bunker design. No need to deal with complicated mechanics, no need to break and reseal your bunker, constantly wasting high qual. No, this bunker is literally just a 1x1. With completely hidden access points that only you'll know to look for, and the security to make sure that only you can use them anyways, this bunker is the way of the future. To start off, let's go over all the components that you're going to need to make this work. First off, you're going to need a pipe and a wire tool, 2 conveyors, 2 to 5 storage adapters, a solar panel and root combiner or a single generator, a switch or preferably a smart switch, a single splitter, and a small battery. So this bunker can be built into just about any base, or it can be the core of the base itself. Because I like small bases, I'm going to be showing you how to do this out of the most simple design, a 2x2. Okay, no, I didn't leave the roof off just to show you the interior of the base. It's actually a little bit more important than that. You see, for this to work, we need no connections to the roof here and no extra interior walls. We're going to start off with our TC tight in the corner here and then place this wall here. You should go ahead and upgrade it and make sure you have it rotated outwards when you're starting. If you rotate it later, this will actually break everything. Next, we place our roof piece, which causes this wall to go, well, slanted. Go ahead and grab your conveyors, and you're looking for this divergent point right here, where you can kind of see a line down in the middle of my screen. And we're gonna basically place our conveyor a little to the right of that. And you wanna go about halfway up, place your first conveyor, rotate, and place your second conveyor. Now you can go ahead and place a roof piece here. Check that you've got about this much sticking out, which is basically my ideal length. And then we're gonna go ahead and take this off again. Now, this part is optional, as if you are gonna be going the route of a small generator instead, you don't need this connection. However, if you end up with solar panel or windmill power later, this can be incredibly useful. So it is worth putting this piece here pretty early. You're gonna want to kind of line it up so that it's sticking out just like those guys there. You'll see you've got barely anything sticking out here and full access to the inside. You'll also see that I do have access to it here, which is the important bit. You also want to make sure that you place it at an angle like I did so that you have access to both of the power ins from the outside. Coming inside here, we're gonna grab some boxes. And this is going to depend on really how many respawns you need inside and all those kind of things, as you can really just operate with this one box. I do usually play as a solo, so one bag in here is more than enough for me. This box is really important that you place it very snugly against the wall here. So ghosting through the back like that can be helpful. Then we're going to place a temporary wall here, as we need to place another wall or another box here. We are going to have to remove this roof piece. Now, an important note is if you didn't place this correctly, when you remove this roof piece, it will destroy these pieces here. You do want to make sure they look like mine do before you destroy the roof piece. This can take a little bit of practice, and once you've got it down, it's fairly easy to do the first time. However, you might want to practice it beforehand. For this box, you don't want to go too far away from the edge of this box here because you want to be able to upgrade this wall freely. Next, my preferred setup does get this box or this bag in the back corner here. However, if you were using a generator, you would place the generator first and then your bag. Additionally, a small box can go right here, and you'll be able to respawn into this area very nicely. Next, go ahead and grab your small battery, and we're going to place that right on top of our TC here. Go ahead and grab our smart switch and our splitter. Place our smart switch up here. That could also be a regular switch. It doesn't matter too much. I just like the option of a smart switch. Connect this up. Connect the power in all the way over to our root combiner. Which again, you could then also hook this up to the generator from this side. So you could have the generator and solar panel as well. And then from here, we're going to connect this to the smart switch and connect each of these power outs on the far sides to the power input of both of these conveyors. With it powered into 1 and 3, we've got that set up and we can now turn that on. You could also turn that on by pairing it to your smartphone. Next, we're going to grab our storage adapters. And this is completely optional. You could operate with just one box, or you could have it go to everything. The choice is yours. If you do hook it up to everything, and we'll go with the output, for example. So this would be the stuff outside of the bunker would come in, would go into this box. It would then daisy chain into this box, and then it would then go into the TC with whatever's left. This would ensure that anything comes in would get filled into all of the spaces available while also filling the TC with only the things that can actually go into TC. The downside to this is you can't connect the output to this daisy chain. If you do disconnect the TC, you could then go ahead and connect the output like this, and that would allow you to also pull specific items or every item out of these boxes. This is the setup you would use if you never really want to have to respawn in here. Alternatively, and finally, you can connect the input to just this small box, which would mean that under no circumstances could anybody pull anything you threw in here from the outside. It would require that you also would need to actually spawn over here, grab whatever you need, and put it in the small box. This isn't really required, but it's a really good idea if you're highly security conscious. That said, this is definitely the most efficient setup. At this point, with both these conveyors hooked up to these two boxes and everything else really manually, aside from making sure that our TC is stocked before we move on, we don't really need in here anymore. We can actually go ahead and completely seal that off. Coming over here, this is where the rest of the magic's gonna happen. Let's start off by first getting a solar panel. And we're gonna go ahead and put that right here. It's gonna get a little bit of sunshine. But again, this is only meant as an example, as this is gonna basically just become a honeycomb 2x2. We're gonna drag this along so nobody can really see where it's going. Bring this to here. And at this point, we're just gonna run this into there. Now we can actually seal off the rest of this base. Destroy this half. Actually, I need that half wall because we're going to make this a loot room. Now that we've got this nicely sealed up, we need to go ahead and get our input and output box going. To do that, we're going to grab a large box and place it in this corner here. Attach a storage adapter and connect the output pipe to the input. And the output here to the input. This is going to allow us to both push items into our bunker and pull items out of our bunker. Now, currently all we have to do is make sure our switch inside there is turned on using our smartphone or manually clicking them, completely an option. Keeping in mind, without filters, all that's going to happen is everything we put in is going to get tossed around from box to box. Generally, when using this, you're only going to want to turn on one at a time, whether that's the industrial output here, which is going to suck everything out of this box and bring it inside over there. Or if you just want to pull out a specific item, we're going to go into our filters here and say we want low grade. Hit add, say how much we want, say only we need 10, hit apply, turn on, and that should produce 10 low grade pretty quickly. At this point, we can go ahead and add our doors, and I'll show you a mock-up of what this could look like. Now, while not quite the same setup as before, this gives me a nice little loot drop room, a respawn room here, and a small box for my traveling items. You'll also see I've conveniently put a tier 3 here. Now this tier 3 is actually very handy as it not only hides the extensions and pipes, as you can't really see what's going on, it also adds that security into the wall through here, meaning they also have to destroy the tier 3 if they want to go into that room from this side. Mostly, I like how it hides it while still giving me access, because an important part of this bunker is removing this before you log off. By making sure to remove this piece every time before you log off, they'll never even know to look for these pipes. And because of how easy it is to just set it back up in the morning, all you have to do is look for it to snap and then connect them up. Meaning you can log off very easily and very easily replace it. This allows for a lot of stealth with this base and really confuses people who are trying to raid into it. Mostly, you really don't want somebody blowing up this wall, so by having the tier 3 here, it's most likely that they'll choose a different path. Anyways, if you guys like this base design, if you guys like this mechanic, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe for future content. Also, if you're looking for some other really interesting gimmick bases, why don't you check out one of these bases on the screen right now.